Takeaways from the discussion that Anuj had with Reliance Capital's Madhu Kela, a special and unplugged conversation where he says they expect volatility in the market because of some of the issues like the Brexit referendum.
It's going to be a little volatile because we are going to have so many global events. Sometimes it is going to be Brexit, sometimes it is going to be Fed rate hike, sometimes it is going. There will be a lot of noises, and we must not forget, that we have had 40% global market. There is deflation which is going on. There is $11 trillion of money which is earning absolute negative interest rate. Even in a country like Germany, the negative interest rate. Against all that, if the country is growing 7.5%, 8%, and we are making 15% return, it has to be looked at in that context. So I think whenever there is a panic, see, you have to have the longer direction clear. So whenever there is a panic, that is a real opportunity because there is nothing else which you can discover.
Yes.
So India is not an undiscovered story anymore, Anuj. So, it is all discovered. So only when there is a panic and you have a differentiated view, that is when you can make little bit superior.
So that panic
return.
was there at 7,000 and you gave a call that, you go out and buy.
Absolutely.
Regardless of all the risk. You said everything is now priced in.
Absolutely.
That panic is no longer there and the market has rallied 12%
Absolutely.
or thereabouts.
So if you now come now, you will make that much less return.
Yes.
In the longer
but you will
run,
still make return.
You will still make return.
Okay. You think what? 30,000, 40,000 Nifty in
I would say that there is a lot of wealth which is to get created. I don't know where the index is going to be. To me, it stopped mattering actually where the index is. But I think a lot of new businesses will come up. A lot of wealth will get created. When you go from $2 trillion to $6 trillion or $8 trillion GDP over the next 10, 12 years, and you have so many dynamic business changes, disruption which is happening. So as long as you are agile, I think there's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah, but purely because of this Brexit and all, what's the downside? Do you think we have actually put a bottom in place? We're not going there?
That I'm very confident.
That you're very confident
I'm very confident
about.
that, because the earnings have improved quite a lot in last quarter. And I believe this year earnings will improve. We are looking at a good monsoon. So I do not think those levels should get revisited. Yeah.
Stocks or sectors to buy, Madhu, right now? NBFCs have done well. Industrials have done well. Commodities have done remarkably well. What do you think is going to do well from here?
So I would say again, rather than focusing on real sectors, Anuj, I'm saying anything which is really relating to consumption. Now I'm not referring companies which are 50 PE and above,
Yes.
So I'm saying anything which is referring to consumption because you see seventh pay commission. See, that is one theme which is still very, very intact in India. In one way, these housing finance companies or NBFCs are representing that theme because, you lend money to companies which are in a way consuming.
Yes.
So that theme we continue. Anything which is linked to urban consumption, even within that, is most preferred. Then I think, you will have plethora of smaller themes or smaller companies, like, pharma. Is getting slowly out of fashion, and we spoke about pharma.
Yes.
But it's not a business which is going to die down. At some point of time, because the underperformance is so severe, you will have some companies which will become very attractive in the pharma side. We spoke about public sector banks. You're seeing all of it really actually playing out.
Yes.
But when you bought. When things were really darkest, that is when you made money.
Yeah, I remember you saying that it was a good time to buy PSU banks, but is it still a good time to buy PSU banks? SBI has rallied a lot.
If you have a 3-year perspective, I would say yes.
You will not go wrong with PSU
I don't think you will go wrong because see, so much is being discounted. मेरे driver को भी पता है क्या wrong है, कितना NPL है, क्या हो सकता है. But I'm not saying random. Again, it's not a sector call. You can't go and buy any public sector bank which is listed. But the ones we have been more prudent, have provided a lot, have been more proactive and are really active on recovery. There is a lot of value which is there.
Okay. So that's some pharma stocks we discussed, some banks and all, some consumption, NBFCs. What else excites you in this market, Madhu, right now?
It's bottom up, Anuj. I am a bottom up idea man. I am saying, in every industry, you will find a real winner.
Any couple of themes, Madhu, that you can
I don't want to talk about stock. I wish I could talk about stock specific names, trust me. But
our viewers are intelligent. They will understand. So if you could just give a couple of themes.
So let's say you talk about real estate. It is absolute in doldrums.
Yes.
There's no one who believes that this sector is going to get revived.
Yes.
Okay. The companies are actually trading at maybe 0.2 or 0.3 book value of the real book value. Okay. Now, I am saying that because of whatever has to happen over the next 5-10 years, if you are an investor who have faith, and again, I'm not talking about real estate sector.
Yes.
You do your homework properly. You see where the debt of the company is coming down.
Yes.
You see where the ROE is improving, where
Yes.
you see where the promoter is extremely
Yes.
focused.
Yes.
You will eventually end up making money.
Okay.
And my philosophy always is you cannot, whatever is very fashionable, you can make a standard 10-15% return. But I get excited when I see that I can make 3 times, 5 times return.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you want to make that kind of return, you will always have to buy it in uncertainty. And sometimes 70-80% of the time, logically, the future must unfold as you are thinking. But 10-20% of the time, it will go wrong. So be it.
Okay. So that's, of course, a couple of real estate stocks, and of course your theme is bottom-up investing, and that's going to continue.
Absolutely.
Any other sub-theme that you've identified of late?
No, frankly not.
Okay.
No, we are looking at a couple of ideas,
Okay.
but have I reached into any conclusion? The answer is no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Madhu, you said
Like
you don't...
defense, it's going to be a
Okay.
big business.
Okay,
Again,
defense.
it's going to be a big business. Pandora's box has got opened. The domestic companies in the defense sector have been given preference over the overseas companies. Like you remember how Maruti came up? 20 years back, there were no auto ancillary companies.
Yes.
And now there are plethora of them.
Yes.
So when the defense industry is full blown, over the next 10-20 years, there will be a lot of companies which will emerge suppliers.
Okay. Last question then, what's the key risk to this market from here on?
Key risk remains actually global.
Okay.
To be honest, if something really unprecedented happens globally, and this deflation which we are talking about actually accelerates, and there is, we cannot rule out कि वहाँ का बाजार में, you see, the debt burden has gone up 2.5 times, and the interest cost globally is still down 11% versus 7.5% of the global GDP. So that must speak, on a 2.5 times higher debt, you are paying less interest as a percentage of GDP. So money is very, very cheap. Anytime that reverses, it will end up disrupting a lot of things.